Hello there, welcome to the first episode of Rare Disease Podcast, brought to you by the Rare Disease Review. I am your host, Song. This podcast is about rare disease, and we aim to introduce you information pertaining medical knowledge such as pathology, diagnosis, treatment, research, and information related to ethics, policy, and some of the social issue rare disease patients and rare disease community face. We are very excited that you are listening to our first ever episode, and we will be putting out new episodes every month. So before I get into the details, an important disclaimer is that this podcast is created by not-for-profit student organization for advocating for rare disease awareness and promoting community connection. So we appreciate your support, and if you're feeling generous, we host fundraising events later in the year on Western University campus, and we welcome donations for the good cause. Through your contribution, we will be able to create more community-based initiation to support the rare disease patients and their caregivers. So please come to our events and just to have some fun. Moreover, our content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, so please always seek the advice of physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding to a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because something you have heard from this podcast. So in this episode, we are mainly introducing you to rare disease and rare disease review, but in the future, we will be getting into some of the specific topics related to rare disease, so please look forward to that. This podcast is designed in the conversational style, so even though I'm the only one talking here, I am imagining that I'm having a conversation with you out there as a friend. So a little bit about myself. I am a member of the Rare Disease Review Medical Journal. I'm super passionate about inviting more people to learn more about rare disease, especially the medical knowledge related to it, the patient care aspect of rare disease, and the scientific writing aspect of introducing rare disease and research related to rare disease. And I'm really honored and excited to be here to talk about rare disease and introduce our not-for-profit Rare Disease Review Medical Journal to you. So some of you might already know a bit about rare disease, but I myself did not find out about the need of rare disease patients until I started doing some volunteer work in the community. Rare diseases are rare, but they actually have huge impacts on a large proportion of the population. And this is because rare disease is an umbrella term that covers a range of different rare disease conditions and together includes a large amount of people. So rare disease is known as an orphan disease. It's often life-threatening and are often chronic conditions that affects a small amount of individual. And because it affects a small amount of people, that limits the resource that goes into scientific research of rare disease and also limits the clinical expertise and patient access to effective treatment options, which is very common difficulties patients face in rare disease area. According to the Canadian Organization of Rare Disease affect 1 in 12 Canadians. Out of these Canadians, 2/3 of them are children, and within these rare disease patients, 94% of these conditions does not have available treatments. So that represents approximately 3 million Canadians and their families facing a serious disease that severely impacts their life, which makes finding treatments for them a serious public health concern for the country. Moreover, the rare disease community face challenges associated with scientific evidence regarding to the clinical efficacy and cost effectiveness of drugs for rare diseases. So because the content of medical research, clinical trials, and policies related to rare diseases is often cutting edge and highly specialized, the rare disease community often have a hard time finding relevant information in easily understandable language. This prevents rare disease patients from understanding their available treatments and further isolate them from community. So for this reason, Rare Disease Review is funded. We aim to connect rare disease community to the complex scientific and policy information. We want to advocate for more care for rare diseases, and we would like to inspire more participants to provide care to the rare disease community. Rare Disease Review is a medical and health policy journal that provides evidence-based knowledge and information about rare disease. This information includes pathology, diagnosis, treatment related to rare diseases, cutting-edge medical research in the field relevant to rare diseases, and the policy issue pertaining to rare diseases. Most importantly, Rare Disease Review is a not-for-profit medical journal organized by students from the University of Toronto, the University of McMaster, and the University of Western Ontario. I am super excited to introduce you to this podcast initiated by the Rare Disease Western Branch. We are a group of students passionate about advocating for London, Ontario rare disease community, and we compose our articles with the aim to shorten the comprehension distance between the dense, complex scientific research and the general public. Specifically, we translate scientific research literature of rare diseases into more comprehensible material and publish the material on www.rarediseasereview.ca. These materials are written according to the request and the need of the rare disease community. And this year we are having this podcast to discuss rare disease relevant content with everyone in the community, which is really exciting to me. And we are starting a community-based initiative called Rare Together, which is an outreach program to partner the rare disease community in London, Ontario with the university volunteers. Our volunteers would be responsible for finding reliable resources, information, support groups, and to help prepare for clinic visit and appointments for rare disease patients. We are still looking for volunteers and we welcome more volunteers to join us. So if you're interested, please visit our link tree to register. The link is provided at the bottom of this video. So if you're interested in learning more about us and read our articles, please visit our website www.rarediseasereview.ca. And if you have any specific topic related to rare disease that you want to talk about and hear about, or if you have any feedbacks for our podcast, please feel free to email us or leave a message on our social platform, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All the links are provided below. We'd love to hear from you, and we look forward to have you again in the next episode. So see you in November.